The reason I moved to Serbia and decided to make this country my home country, and why I decided to leave Canada in that Western way of life and start a family, start a business, and start a new life in this country of Serbia. Now, many people in Serbia across the world have been asking, hey, listen, Andre, we haven't heard much about Serbia. We can't even locate it on a map. And that's due to the failure of the education system in the Western cultures. Many of the Western cultures don't want to tell you about what is going on in other countries. In the Western cultures, from my experience, is that it's always doom and gloom everywhere around the world except for in the Western countries. And you should not go in these other Western countries in these other countries because they're simply not safe. The food's not great. They're still living in the Stone Age. They don't have the amenities. They don't have the technology that we have in these Western countries. And today I'm going to talk to you about why that's a bunch of hooey and why you should go out and step out of your comfort zone and go and explore some of these wonderful countries, specifically Serbia. Now, being that I am from a Serbian descent, many people think that the reason I moved to Serbia is because simply that my heritage is from Serbia. And being that is partly true, and I do still speak the language, I still read and write everything, I had always a pull into Serbia because of many reasons that I don't agree with the way of life in Western cultures. And as I was living in Canada and experienced other countries, Western countries, I noticed something, that life is not actually life in these Western countries, and you have the wool pulled over your eyes more often than not. And after experiencing Serbia multiple times, I decided, hey, listen, this is where we need to be. This is how life should be lived. This is the way people should be treated. And let's get into the 7 main reasons I got into moving to Serbia, moving my wife here, starting a family, starting a business, and making new friends, starting from scratch. And it might be scary for some people, but I'm telling you, it's well worth it. So number 1 is the food here in Serbia. In Western cultures, specifically Canada, we are filled with GMOs, and I shouldn't say just Canada. You got all U.S. also dealing with this. You got a lot of Western European countries that also deal with this. Is their food is not actually food here, what you would consider food here in Serbia. For instance, a lot of the meat here is organic raised meat, right? The meat you buy in Canada looks completely different than it would look like in here in Serbia. For instance, you buy beef in a store in Canada, it is pink. Where you buy food here, and more often than not, it's right from the butcher, it's red, it's purple. It's actually how it's supposed to look, with blood still dripping off of it. Your eggs, for instance, your eggs in all these Western countries are yellow yolked, where here you can tell that the chickens have been, raised out in the fields. They are eating bugs. They are eating things off the ground. They are actually organic eggs, and you can pick up 30 organic eggs for like $3, which is fantastic, and they're more nutritious. The vegetables here, you eat everything in season, where in Canada, everything's shipped in from all over the world. They throw out food that doesn't look the right way. They are filled, shined with wax. They are filled with chemicals. You have seedless this, seedless that. And here in Serbia, you don't have that. You have the food that you eat here is actually so filling, so rich. bread you buy one day and you have to eat it within 2 days because you're going to grow mold on your bread. Whereas in Canada or these Western cultures, you leave bread out for a week or 2 weeks and it's still edible because of all the GMOs and all the fillers and preservatives that are put in it. And being that we are under the European Union regulations here when it comes to food, a lot of the bread and a lot of the ingredients that are put into Western culture's food is not allowed to be put into the food here in Serbia. And one thing you notice is that there are not as many obese people here. The frozen food section is almost non-existent. Cereals, yes, there are maybe a half a dozen boxes of cereals that I see in the grocery store, but whereas you go to a grocery store in these Western cultures and you got 2 full rows just full of sugary cereals that aren't even considered food, right? In my opinion, right? The number two reason that I'm going to get into now is your health. So in Canada, the healthcare system is not that great. People here in Serbia are brainwashed into thinking that they have a pretty bad healthcare system, but they have it better than what Western cultures have there. But being that I eat the organic food here in Serbia, we don't have as many, planes flying around in the skies here, spraying chemtrails and being able to pollute the water supply, pollute the air. You have more, greenery around here. You're not stuck in cement cities or concrete jungles, as some of you might call it. The health here is phenomenal. You see bike trails everywhere here. You see people playing sports. You see kids actually being outside and being kids, playing ball, playing soccer, playing hide and seek, whereas in Canada, we have a epidemic there of kids being obese at such a young age because we don't take our health seriously there. And being that, like I mentioned at the beginning, because our food here is so much better and higher quality, you get such better nutritious value out of the food here. And so your health here is much better. I know many people that came from Canada here with asthma, and once they stepped into Serbia, their asthma is gone. They don't have to be on their puffer. They don't have to take certain medications, which is very refreshing. Number three is the sun. Now, I believe it was last year that Canada recorded the longest winter without any sun being shown. And for that, when you have that type of lifestyle and you're living that type of life, it can be very depressing. A lot of mental illnesses can come from that. Our body simply needs sun just to survive, to get the vitamin D. Your moods aren't there, and so a lot of people, they start resorting to drinking a lot more. They get into substance abuse. One thing that we've noticed here in Serbia, and many people that come here to Serbia, is that there are not that many cloudy days here. Even if you have a good storm coming through here, it's going to be cloudy for that storm. You're going to have a good shower, snowstorm, whatever it might be, but then it's sunny again. I could bet that out of a whole month, call it 30 days, some days have 31, I could tell you most of the time you got 29 days of sunshine here. You don't see chemtrails out in the skies like you would see in North America. You can go out there and expose your skin to the sun and get that vitamin D and improve your mood. People here are actually happy, enjoying life because they have sun, right? And that's one of the best things that you can do for yourself is just obtain a little bit of sun, through your eyes and on your skin. And speaking of your skin, brings me to my fourth point. Being that we have the good food here, we have a lot of sun quality here. Many people, especially myself, my blemishes have gone away from once I moved here in Serbia. The beach isn't hard to find. Here in Novi Sad, you have Strand here. A lot of people from Serbia, they'll go to Montenegro, they'll go to Croatia, they'll go to Greece. There's also, you can go up to Subotica. You got Palić Lake there. You can go lay on the beach there. There's a lot of places here that you can go and relax on the beach and have a better sense of health and get your skin back to how it should be. Because what you don't know is what you don't know. And people in Canada, they're stuck in this idea that this is how life is, this is how it should be, and it's absolutely wrong. The fifth point I want to talk about, and this is very important, is the affordable private healthcare system. And I touched on this a little bit at the beginning of the video, but even the public healthcare services here are a lot better than what you would experience in Western countries, especially North America. But if you're coming in here and you have a temporary residency and or you're just here on a tourist visa, there is a very good, affordable public health care here. For instance, many people here, they'd much rather go, actually, even if they're citizens of Serbia, to the private healthcare services because they got that much better service, especially if you're looking at giving birth. You can get your own private rooms. You can get a lot better food. I know someone who gave birth here in Serbia, and they were given actually home-cooked meals, not, those TV dinners that you would get Hungry Man specials in Canada. I know another gentleman whose daughter had to go in for some surgery, and he says that it was much more affordable than in his home country, and the services were better. His daughter felt a lot more comfortable dealing with a private healthcare services, and being that they're only temporary residents, that was their only option to go and do that. For, say, a pregnant woman to go in there to give birth, you're looking at about 3,000 Canadian dollars if it's a natural birth, maybe $4,000 if it's a C-section. It all depends on what hospital you're going to. If you're going to the one here in Novi Sad, you're looking probably about $3,000 to $4,000. If you're going to Belmedic, which is in Belgrade, you're looking at about $3,500 to $4,000. All depends on what you're looking for, what kind of services you're looking to obtain from these private healthcare services. The other one I'd like to talk to you about is the low cost of living here. Now, in Canada, the real estate prices and the rental prices have completely skyrocketed. It is not unusual to find someone paying $2,500 per month for a one-bedroom apartment. And that does not include your utilities. That does not include your food. That does not include your going out, your gas for your car, your insurance for your car, your cell phone bills, none of that. Here in Serbia, yes, inflation has hit Serbia as well, and you will hear that from the locals, and it's happened over the years, especially with the amount of Russians and Ukrainians coming into Serbia, and as well as other people from around the world coming into Serbia, but it's still very affordable compared to what you are paying in say, Canada, for instance. If you're coming in from Canada or United States, Australia, it's not very uncommon to come here and find a two-bedroom apartment, or say, call it a one-bedroom apartment. Call a one-bedroom apartment. You're going to be paying about 600 euros per month, which is about $800 Canadian per month. And that's going to cover your rent, that's going to cover your water, your heating, your electricity. That'll also cover your cell phone bill, because the cell phone bills in Canada, I know they're probably about $80 to $100 per month. Here I'm paying about $15 per month, and my internet signal's way better. I get much better services here than I did in Canada for sure. Now, if you're looking to, go out a little bit more, maybe for a nice dinner, it's very easy to go out there for a family of four, eat at a very nice restaurant, and it's going to cost you maybe about $50 Canadian to go out and eat very well, have a few drinks, have a good dessert, and then come back home. It's very affordable to live here in Serbia. And number 7 is that the government is not in your business. In Canada, you are, always given the idea that the government has to be involved with everything you do, especially when it comes now to the digital ID, digital cash, the invasive surveillance, what you can post on internet, what you are able to see on the internet. Especially in Canada now, you can't go on YouTube and watch things that are not Canadian made content, which we don't even know what that means. And it's all up to the government that decides on what you're approved to go and see. Where here in Serbia, you don't have that. For instance, I can tell you right now, cash is king here in Serbia. It's very difficult to find people that will pay with their debit cards. Digital ID is not coming into Serbia. Everything, you even go to government buildings, even that is done on pen and paper these days. One thing that I noticed that you see here in Serbia is some of the grocery stores have those self-checkout lines where you have like 6 tills that are completely empty, and then the 2 tellers that are actually doing the checkout procedure for your groceries. Not many people go to that checkout, the automatic checkout, or self-checkout, should I call it, to check out their own thing. They want to go to a teller. They want to go pay cash. They want to get someone else to do it. They like it the old-fashioned way. You go to the market, everything there is cash. You go to pay for a service at the post office, or you're going to go to a government agency, a lot of times it's cash that you have to pay for. Those are the 7 reasons that I feel really hit home about Serbia, and those are just the top 7. There's many other reasons that I love Serbia, and if there's any other topics you'd like me to cover about Serbia, feel free to hit that like button and leave a comment down below in the comment section about what type of video you would like me to do about Serbia, and I'd happy to read those comments and make a video in the near future. Thanks for watching, and come back for the next video.